Welcome back to another episode of Stitch on Saturday. Today I'm going to be sharing how to do the Tunisian Lattice Stitch, and for this stitch you need an odd number of stitches casted on, and so I'm going to do 11 stitches. And today I am using my Lion Brand Woolease Thick and Quick, and this is Fig, I believe, and then using my Denise Interchangeable size 17 12mm hook with a cord and stopper. So I'm just going to show you. So I'm going to cast on chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, and then going to do a foundation row. So just go in, complete a normal foundation row, and then do a normal return pass. Oops, sorry. Do a normal return pass. To complete your foundation row. And then what you're going to do is go into the first 2 stitches. So this is a 2-row repeat. So the first row is you're going to go into the first 2 stitches, pull up a loop. So that's a decrease. That's a Tunisian simple stitch decrease. But now what you're going to do is go back into that first stitch and pull up a loop. So now you have 2, and you can see there's a diagonal line here. So continue doing that across, go through the next 2 loops, pull up a loop, and then go back into the first stitch and pull up a loop. So you get back to 2 stitches, and there's a diagonal line. So keep doing that across for the first row until you get to the last 2 stitches, the last stitch and the second last stitch. So the stitch right before the last one, you're just going to do a simple stitch and then work your last stitch as normal. Now the return pass, exactly the same, just do the same thing across, and then the second row of this 2-row repeat, what you're going to do is you'll see these little V's have formed and there are spaces in between. So what you're going to do is go into the first, the right side of the V, and pull up a loop into that first stitch, and then you're going to take your hook and go into the next 2 stitches and pull up a loop, and then continue doing what we did in our previous row. So go through the 2 stitches, pull up a loop, and then you're going to go back into that first stitch and pull up a loop. So you always end up with 2 stitches, and your stitch count shouldn't change. It's going to be the same. So go in, pull up a loop, and then pull up a loop into this first stitch again. And do that again. And then work your last. Here, you don't end up with a stitch before the second last stitch. You're going to just keep doing the 2 stitches across, and then just pull up, like do your normal, like the last stitch is normal, and then do a normal return pass. And this is what it should look like, your 2-row repeat. And this is what it should start looking like. You can see the little diagonals. That's why it's called a lattice stitch. Looks like a lattice. So I'm going to do it one more time. So the first row, you're going to work, you're going to work into the 2 stitches, pull up a loop, and then work back into that first stitch. And go in to the next 2 stitches, pull up a loop, and then go back into the first stitch and pull up another loop. And then go in to the next 2 stitches, pull up a loop, and then go into the next 2 stitches, pull up a loop, and then you're left with 1 stitch before the final stitch. So pull up a loop and do a normal simple stitch on that, and then work your last stitch as normal, and then do a normal return pass. So basically you're alternating that. Either you start with a simple stitch or you end with a simple stitch right before your final stitch. So that was the row 1. Then row 2, as I said, is you're going to go through that first part of the V and just do a simple stitch. Then you're going to pick up 2 loops and then go back into the first loop. And then pull up a loop, go back in, pull up a loop, pull up a loop, go back in, pull up a loop, pull up a loop, go back in, pull up a loop, and then work your last stitch as normal. And then just do a normal return pass. And that's it. That is the Tunisian lattice stitch. I hope you found the tutorial useful. Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe, and comment. And this is what your piece will look like. It's a really beautiful stitch. Can be used in a lot of great projects. Alright, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.